Welcome to Dr. Cush's Exotic Drinks. I'm, of course, Dr. Cush, along with my barback Kyle. I'm not a real doctor, but I did spend almost 2 decades running some of LA's best bars. After years of teaching classes and training bartenders, I want to demystify the cocktail world for you. Let's try a few new things as I open up my bar to everybody. Belly up, chat, and let's have a drink. All right, everybody, welcome to Dr. Cush's Exotic Drinks. I'm Dr. Cush. We are here, not live. I am live. I am doing this alive. This has been pre-recorded, so if there is an emergency and you need to get a hold of me, I think you can find me in the chat. Either way, today we are working on a Prohibition Era punch that has found its way. Sneaky Tiki. It was we were hiding in a warehouse thinking we can't take any more Tiki drinks, and suddenly this little drink snuck up on us. Ha! Gotcha! It said, ha! I'm one of you now. The metaphor doesn't work perfectly, but the metaphor is not what we are going for today. We are going to be making a cocktail called the 12-Mile Limit, and we're going to get into it. It fits, in my opinion, it fits a punch pretty well. It's not called the 12-Mile Limit Punch, so nobody's out here saying, hey, this is definitely a punch, but I think it's pretty close. So we're gonna make it. Another thing I like about this, super easy to make in large quantities. All right, so we're dealing in parts. We're dealing in 1 parts and 2 parts. That's it. Simple. Before we get too deep into it, let me say hello to the people in the chat. Hi guys. Hi everybody. Good to see you. Good work being here. I know, I get it. Nobody likes a not live show. Everybody wants to see old Dr. Cush live. You want to see him dance, do his little shuffle, and they want to see it as it happens. So in case anything goes horribly wrong, you are there for it. But we are not cutting this. Once I push the start recording button, this is it. We're going through this one time. I don't have time to go. I don't have time to be going through this 2 times or 3 times. I got 1 time. Hello to all of you in the chat. Let's put this away so that we don't have this here anymore. And goodbye to that. Okay, the 12-Mile Limit. First of all, I think it's a cool name. I think it sounds like a kind of a cool cocktail name. It's named after, and this is kind of fun, it's named after the limit upon which the nation, whatever nation you have, whatever nation extends into the ocean. More specifically, it is dealing with how far out one can drink in the United States starting during Prohibition. In reality, it isn't a 12-mile limit that started this whole thing. It was a 3-mile limit. That was the initial limit. Most countries had a 3-mile limit, and there's a reason. Can anybody tell me why? I'll wait. No, okay, nobody can tell me. Obviously, because we're not live. It's because that's how far, and I think this is cool, that's how far a cannonball can shoot. You shoot a cannonball, 3 miles. So if you were going to defend your territory for with a cannon, if you were going to defend your territory with a cannon, you had about 3 miles of defense before you run out of area. Well, the United States wasn't sticking around with that. Oh, the United States does everything big. Anybody watching the Olympics? The trials? I love the Olympic trials. The Olympics are fine. I like the trials. I like to see who gets in. My girl Parker Valby from Florida, she made it in. If the UF Mark is here, way to go. Who else is going to be in there? A bunch of good people are going to be in there. Anyway, the US does everything big. We decided 3-mile limit, poo-poo, pshaw, no thank you, boop, boop, boop. Instead, we're going to make it 12 miles because we don't want no roustabouts, ne'er-do-wells, scofflaws, or tiddlywinks. The last one doesn't work. We don't want any of these odd people coming in, breaking the laws within 12 miles of our border. That would make this too difficult. And also, we aren't using cannons that much anymore. So the United States has this. So this is a prohibition-style cocktail. But like we said earlier, it fits very, very well within the realm of our punch category. Legend has it, a guy named let's get over that. A guy named Thomas Franklin Fairfax Millard created this cocktail. At least he coined the cocktail. And thus, we have this kind of cool cocktail from Thomas Franklin Fairfax Millard that exemplifies exactly what makes a punch great. It has 1 of sour, it has 2 of sweet, it has 3 of strong. If you shake it hard enough, it has 4 of weak. And within that sweet, we have our little spice to make it all nice. If by the end of this we get through the cocktail, we decide, I think this is a little boring. I think this is a little blank, a little plain Jane. We can add a little bit of spice to it and really bring home the punch. But we're going to figure that out anyway. It is based on another cocktail called the 3 Mile Limit, because the 12 Mile Limit is based on the 3 Mile Limit. Just add 4 cannons. But what we're adding to this one is going to be some whiskey. So this is a shaker. Get your shaking vessels ready. This is our shaking vessel ready here. Oh gosh, is this in focus? We're gonna see if this is in focus. I had all the time in the world. Just watch this real quick. We're just gonna focus up the camera real quick. Told you we weren't doing anything. Oh yeah, let's win our awards right there. Boom. Award 1. Thank you, Bon Bon, for letting me use your empty bottle to focus my cameras. What were we talking about? We were talking about something earlier. This is a shaking cocktail. Let's start back there. This is a shaking cocktail. We are going to be making this. It is based off of the 3 Mile Limit, but we are adding some whiskey, which is going to be our 3, count them, 3 of strong. But before we get into that, let's do this in order so that we are all party and parcel to... We're not cutting. We're not cutting. We're going to keep going. So we are all witness to the fact that this could be very much a punch. And the reason that this is a pretty good cocktail, I've made it a number of times, is because this does follow punch format. Let's go ahead and slice off our nublin here. Now this is kind of a crappy lemon. It had some brothers that we cut up recently, and it just didn't do so good. I didn't want to give up the juice. I kept saying, give up your juice, and it said, no, not giving up the juice. And I begged it, I pleaded with it, but we don't throw away lemons in this bar, so we're going to try this one. We don't need a lot. We don't need a lot. In fact, we only need half an ounce. And if you are deciding, hey, Dr. Kush, I want to make this for all of the people behind me right now. If there are a lot of people behind you, please have them tune in, like, subscribe, comment, share. Do have them do all that things. But if you don't want to do that, you don't want to have everybody like and subscribe, you just want to get everybody drunk behind you, you can translate each half of an ounce into a part. All right? Each half of an ounce is now a part. Pretty simple. So we need half an ounce or 1 part of lemon juice. So squeeze that in. We're going to make sure we get this right. We really squeeze, we might get it. I don't care for these lemons. They make a fool out of me. They make me make all kinds of silly noises. It makes me look like I'm a wimpling. But this wimpling just got half of an ounce out of a basically dead lemon. So we're going to pour in half an ounce or 1 part of lemon juice. Right there. Looking great. Sweetener. Oh, baby. Oh, baby, when you dance like that, you make a woman go mad. This right here is our friend Grenadine. Grenadine is interesting. Grenadine is interesting. As I have delved deep throughout this Summer of Punch, the whole reason we started Summer of Punch was so that I could justifiably go through a bunch of cocktail books and see exactly where punch ingredients sort of find themselves. And what I found is that grenadine slips its way in there pretty often. Pretty often you will find grenadine in there somewhere, and I think it's because grenadine adds a little bit of what we might call spice. That's the little spice to make this whole thing nice, is a little bit of grenadine. So, 1 of sour, and we're not just adding pomegranate to it. That would be the spicy part. We are adding pomegranate and sugar. Do you notice how many fingers are sitting up? I gotta put this one down. Now do you see how many fingers are sitting up? 2 fingers. Probably better if you do it like this. 2 fingers. That is 2 sweeteners. 1 sourer, 2 sweeteners. We only need half an ounce, or 1 part of some pomegranate simple syrup, or we usually call that grenadine. Seems like it is almost time to go back and make some grenadine. Can I pat myself on the back just a little bit? Now, can I tell you why I did that? I watch a lot of other bar channels. I think they're fascinating. I think that they, some of them teach me a lot. Some of them teach me not quite as much, but they're at least interesting to watch. Almost never in the history of bar channels have I ever seen somebody use an almost empty bottle of something. I've never seen, I just, that's not a thing that I see. They always use a full bottle of something. And I think that that is giving us false standards of beauty. All right, I'm all about realistic beauty standards. Yes, is a full voluptuous bottle of something a much more interesting thing to look at? Of course. Yes, absolutely. Would it be nice if every time we came into this bar and I grabbed that grenadine, there was a full bottle of fat, red, glowing green, big, asseted grenadine? Would that make this channel look nicer? It would. But that is unrealistic. It's unrealistic to have that because this is a 1-person bar. Really, the only person that drinks here is Kyle. And I can't be filling up or wasting a ton of stuff all the time like that. So if you have complaints about the fullness of my bottles, I'm about to break your heart. This I was just setting us up for that one. We are trying to get rid of this bottle of E&J VS. Now, obviously, E&J usually fills up to about here. Not today. Not today. We do not go out and buy brand new bottles every single time we are going to make a drink. We use what we have. We don't waste anything. We are trying to be an economical and ecologically sound bar. If every time I made grenadine, I made the whole thing and then threw out the rest of it because, well, we're not making another grenadine drink for a couple weeks. It's like a pomegranate apocalypse. It's like the pompocalypse. I'm not interested in the pompocalypse. So we try and use a long explanation to explain why normally this bottle of very brown liquor is definitely almost empty. Anyway, you want to reach for a brandy, particularly if you want to do this in a normal, sane way. Grab yourself a cognac. Does not have to be the most expensive cognac in the world. In fact, it can be the cheapest cognac in the world. That's E&J, baby. E&J. E stands for economical. J stands for just enough for what you need. No idea what E and J stands for. You need 1 part of a cognac. So half an ounce of a cognac. All right. I mean, every time I watch another channel, my goodness, they have brand new bottles. From every bottle they pour, it's a brand new bottle. Who has time for that? What are you doing with the rest of that stuff? I have another theory. I just thought of it. I just theorized this as we were talking. There's a good chance that those people are not filling it up with liquor. Iced tea or something. You know, iced tea looks a lot like whiskey. Whiskey is basically iced tea. It's basically iced tea, but we've let the little yeast chomp at it. We don't have to get too deep into my theories. They're getting a little crazier as we go. Next thing we want to find a whiskey. Now, you can find, obviously, if you want, you can find a rye. We don't have a rye here. I don't have a rye. We have drank through all the rye here. I particularly enjoy rye, and thus, when I drink whiskey, I drink rye. I also particularly like this guy right here. This is Frey Ranch. This was a gift from, maybe she's in the audience right now. I have no way of telling. I'm not a time traveler. This is a gift from our good friend Bon Bon. This is coming out of Nevada. I like this one in particular because it is not a super sweet version of a bourbon. It does not have a ton of sweetness. Does it give us the mash bill? There's no way. No way they would just put that on here. They do put it on here. They do put it on here. Wow, this is awesome. Okay, let me show you what we got. We have, oh, guys, you guys are never going to be able to see that. This is going to be a secret anyway. It is 66% yellow dent corn. So that is a pretty low percentage of corn. Bourbon's supposed to be made of a lot of corn. 10% winter wheat, love that. 11.4% winter rye, and 12% two-row barley, which is malted on site. I think that having 43.4% of this be non-bourbon, sorry, not be non-bourbon, 43.4% of this be non-corn, does give this one a little bit of that dry rye-ness that we're looking for in this drink. I wouldn't use a sour mash for this. Just find a rye or a less sweet bourbon that works in this one. We need half an ounce or 1 part of a just whiskey. Just find a whiskey. Doing all the right stuff now. Trucking along. Boop, 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 boop. Okay. How did this find its way into Tiki? I will tell you. There's a, I'm not going to say it's ignorant, but I'm not going to say it's unfounded either. There is a thought that all Tiki drinks are rum drinks. There's just a thought. People think that. People think that all punches are rum. Okay, well, that's fun. That's a fun thing to think. It isn't necessarily true that all Tiki drinks are rum. We know that. And it's not necessary that all punches are rum either. We all know that. But some people think it is. And thus, once we began looking for all of these cocktails to add to the Tiki Pantheon, especially for newer bars. So this 12-mile limit might not have found its way onto, say, Don Beach's menu, but I know for a fact that it found its way onto Martin Cate's menu. Martin Cate, who of course runs Smuggler's Cove, he has this on his menu because as we go through and we look up all these old cocktails, we can start to see that even though this didn't exactly land in the time of Tiki, it was a little bit before the time of Tiki, it does fit a lot of the specifications. Mixed bases, citrus fruits, grenadine, long drinks, punch formulas. It found its way. We can start to see click, 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 like a beautiful mind. We can start to connect the dots. Oh God, maybe none of us exist. We find out after drinking this drink. Don't drink too many of these drinks. Anyway, this cocktail is a majority or a plurality. It is rum. So we're gonna find our rum. We are gonna reach over here. You can use. Listen, better rum, better, better rum. You get a better turnout. You get a better, what's the word I'm looking for? Nobody's in the chat to even tell me. Better rum, you get a better product. We're going to stick with product. But we're going to use Bacardi instead. Not that Bacardi is we're going to win an award here real quick. Let's just win this award and then we'll get back to it. Bacardi is not the pinnacle of great rum. It is a world leader in rum sales. I believe the only rum that sells better than Bacardi in the whole world is one called Old Monk. And we don't really even get that here. It's mostly an India thing. India drinks apparently a lot of rum, I've learned. Anyway, Bacardi is, now we've over adjusted. We just want this nice and flat. We're going to count that. We'll win our awards some other way. There we go. Hang out. Anyway, find yourself a rum that you like. We have so much other stuff in here, and rum can be very bullying in a drink. When you put rum into a lot of drinks, you will get bullied about by it if you are putting in too funky of a rum. If you love a funky rum, hey, you're in luck. This drink will exemplify that funky rum. But if you want to sort of taste, maybe you put in a nice cognac, you didn't go with E&J. Maybe, you weren't really interested in tasting your whiskey. I like the whiskey we put in here, so I want to sort of be able to taste that thing. If that's the case, choose a different rum than Bacardi. But if that is not the case, and you just want a drink that wraps up everything in a nice little bow, ties it off, puts it into a cannon, and shoots it, how many miles? 3 miles. Then Bacardi is just fine. We need 2 parts of Bacardi or 1 full ounce of rum. Find a rum you like. Every time I say find a rum you like, I'm reminded of anybody a Howard Stern fan? I was a big Howard Stern fan. I don't listen to him anymore, but I was a big Howard Stern fan for a long time. And he had a caller who was Dr. Remulac. And he would only call in and he would say, "I am Dr. Remulac." And that's all he would say. That's the only words Dr. Remulac. If there's proof against this, send it to me. I believe Dr. Remulac only ever said, "I am Dr. Remulac." And Howard Stern would talk to him for 20 minutes. All he would say is, "I am Dr. Remulac." That's the kind of avant-garde radio that I like. There's no real point to that. Just when I say the rum you like, I always think of Dr. Remulac. Go ahead and put in lots and lots of ice. We're going to be shaking this guy. I'm currently being summoned. Real quick. Oh, never mind. Oh, this is kind of a fun little guy. Hey. Looks like a little dolphin sticking out. I do want to say real quick, the person that's texting me right now, he does not know that I am on air, is Doug Green. So, Doug Green, if you're watching this right now, know that sometimes when people text me, if I don't get back to you immediately, it's because I'm doing, the show. So, that's what we're doing. We're going to squeeze this. And we're going to give this a little shake. Ready? 1, 2, 3. Oh, yeah, let's win an award here. Oh, yeah, let's just win the award. There we go. Let's wipe that off. Looking good. Whew. That smells good. Lots of booze in this one. 3 different booze. We have 1 part lemon, 1 part grenadine, 1 part rye or whiskey, 1 part brandy, and 2 parts rum. A super easy cocktail to make, to remember, and certainly a great cocktail to make for a bunch of people, because it's parts. It's all parts. Love a parts cocktail. Pour this in, no ice. If you would like to serve this over one rock, that's fine. Don't hurt yourself thinking too many thoughts about that. We're gonna take just a little bit of this lemon. Take a lemon or a cherry. My producer and I recently have been watching a TV show called The Bear. It's a great little program about a neurotic cook that takes over a beef factory and makes it into a tire award-winning situation. The reason I'm saying that is because while we watch that show, we make Manhattans, and that means that I don't have cherries near me, and Kyle is not watching. Excuse me, Kyle's not watching the show. So find either a lemon or a cherry. Throw that guy right in there. Let's get another video of that going in. Whoop. And there you have it. I think, why not? I can just feel you all chanting right now to have this be put on a spinner. So we will. It's the slowest spinning thing I've ever seen. There we go. Just throw that on the spinner here. Oh, it spins the other way. Wow. That's the drink. How long did we do? I think we were pretty close. I think we started at 9. It's 36 now, so I think we're in a good spot. Let's drink this drink. Remind you of what is going on the rest of the week. This should be a big, tasty drink. If for some reason you are not a fan of whiskey at all, you can do this exact same drink. Just take out one of the parts. You take out the whiskey, and you will have the 3-mile limit. It's a very simple cocktail as well. If you just don't like whiskey, you have some sort of whiskey aversion. I don't know what that's called. But if that's not your thing, take that out. You have a 3-mile limit, but this right here is the 12-mile limit with the whiskey. Cheers. Let's see how we did. It's very good. It's very, very good. Obviously, there are ways to adjust it if you are looking to adjust it. A funkier rum would do well. Even a sweeter rum, I think, could handle this. If you think that it's not sweet enough, a little bit of grenadine, but I think that this is perfectly sweet enough for my taste. And we all know I'm a sweet tooth. I like a lot of sweet in my drinks. That's something that I just I can't deny it anymore. My initial instincts when I was a kid, when I was 25 years old when I started drinking, was that I liked sweet drinks. I went through a whole no sweet drinks period where I had my mustache and my suspenders, and I said, no. Any way I could take that sweet vermouth out of my Manhattan? And they would look at me and say, you're an idiot. That is just a shot of whiskey. You dumb dummy. So when I learned that actually the sweet vermouth is the part that I liked about the Manhattan, I would ask for more sweet vermouth. And then that turned into, full-on pina coladas and stuff like that. But even knowing that I love a very sweet drink, this, lovely. Just lovely. If you want to serve this up, that would also, I think, work. But I think it kind of defeats the purpose of this cocktail. This is supposed to be kind of a, I don't know. When you think of cannon fodder, when you think of shoving things into cannons and then shooting them 3 miles out to the beach, you don't often think of a dainty little coops. I think you normally think of stuff like this, stuff that if you threw it at somebody might hurt them. That's what you want. So you want a glass that can hurt somebody. There we go. Well, I think we've done it. The date today that I'm filming this, 7/7/24. The day you guys are watching this, I believe, is 2 days later, making that 7/9/24. Hopefully, you're all able to watch this. Hopefully, you stuck with it. I know that it's not a live show, and I know that we all like to be sort of part of the party. I apologize for that not being a thing today, but we got this one. It's in the can, and we will be back later. I got itchy face today. We will be back later with full live shows on Saturday. There will be one more show that is pre-taped. Not just taking a show that I did before and rehashing it. I am actually I'm gonna change my shirt because my producer thinks that it's important that people don't think it happened immediately afterwards, but I do want you to know it's happening immediately afterwards. I'm about to make a whole new drink. Shut the bar down for a second, make a whole new drink, but I will change my shirt. I think it's a fun one. I really, even if you guys are a little weary about tuning in on Thursday, I really think this is a fun one. There's a funny gag that we're doing in it. I've already got the gag all ready to go. I think it's kind of fun. Tune in on Thursday where we will be making the Chatham Artillery Punch. Well, if that doesn't light a fire under your ass, then I don't know what will. Anyway, thank you guys so much for tuning in. My name is Dr. Kush from Dr. Kush's Exotic Drinks. If you like this show, please don't forget ever to like, subscribe, comment, and share. Anytime. You don't have to do it right now. Maybe you come back later and like it. Or maybe come back and watch it later. Or tell your friends. Tell your friends to watch this show and tell them to like, comment, subscribe, and share. And then we will all be friends. How long did I go? I think I went for... 32 minutes. That's plenty of time. As always, thank you guys so much. Don't forget to watch these credits roll past. These are all people that financially support the show, that keep this bar going. So thank you all. But even if you don't financially support the show, you showing up is the most important part. So thank you for doing that. Let's roll these credits, and I will see you guys. I'm going to be back here in like 3 minutes, but I will see you guys live on Saturday. As always, always a pleasure, never a chore. And what do we always say?
Goodbye.
Goodbye.